A man walks across a battlefield, not to fight, but to end a war. His blade can cut through stone, his armor glows with light, and when he moves, kingdoms tremble. But in just one night, everything changes. Betrayal, murder, a forgotten oath, and that man, the most powerful warrior alive, vanishes. Welcome to the Way of Kings, where ancient magic is waking, heroes are broken, and storms aren't the most dangerous thing coming. Hello, everyone, and welcome to BookPodCastZone. I'm Emma.
And I'm John.
Today, we're embarking on an epic deep dive into the foundational first book of Brandon Sanderson's monumental Stormlight archive, The Way of Kings. We're really going to try and peel back the layers of this huge narrative. We want to pull out the most potent insights, those surprising parallels, and, the sheer narrative genius that really makes this book a modern fantasy masterpiece. Absolutely. So whether you're a seasoned traveler to Roshar, maybe you're just curious about this acclaimed series, or perhaps you're looking for a shortcut to understanding what all the buzz is about, well, we've got you covered. Our mission today is to unpack the super intricate world building, dissect these really compelling character arcs, and shed some light on the overarching themes that set the stage for one of fantasy's most ambitious sagas. So yeah, let's unpack this.
All right, so to kick things off, The Way of Kings. It doesn't just ease you in, does it? It plunges us straight into this foundational myth, this massive cosmic conflict, right in the prelude.
Exactly. It's intense from page one.
So what's the profound idea here? How does this initial, divine betrayal immediately set such a unique tone for the whole series?
Well, what's immediately striking, I think, is how Sanderson sort of subverts the typical epic fantasy tropes right from the get-go. He starts with this divine abandonment.
The prelude isn't just, a quick history lesson. It's a really shattering revelation. We see the last desolation, this cataclysmic war. But the crucial part is seeing the Heralds, these almost godlike protectors, decide to just forsake their sacred oaths.
Wow.
And that single act, it's not just a broken promise. It feels like a cosmic-level betrayal. It immediately signals that this is a world where even divine beings are fallible. They're capable of immense deception, even ultimate surrender. It just imbues Roshar with this pervasive sense of broken trust, of inherent fallibility right from the start. It suggests that the core conflict isn't just about, external monsters, but about internal systemic rot that goes all the way to the top.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder if the gods themselves failed. What hope is there for mortals?
Exactly. That's the question hanging over everything.
It feels incredibly ancient, almost archetypal, like something pulled from humanity's earliest stories.
Absolutely, but with that dark twist. Right?
Yeah, that twist.
Sanderson masterfully taps into that universal mythological resonance. Think of tales like the Norse Ragnarok, where gods aren't immortal or infallible. They can fall, they can abandon their duties, and that leads to the collapse of worlds.
Or even the Greek gods, sometimes making terrible choices.
Precisely. Or the sometimes capricious interventions of the gods in the Epic of Gilgamesh. The Heralds' broken vows echo countless myths where deities get into internal conflicts or make these pivotal, devastating choices that completely shape mortal history.
Right.
It immediately immerses you in this sense of deep, ancient history. It implies Roshar has endured countless cycles of conflict and divine intervention, always leading back to this point. It's a subtle way to ask, is history just doomed to repeat itself here, or can they finally break the cycle?
That's a heavy question to start with.
It is.
And then from this huge cosmic stage, we're immediately thrown into this brutal, singular act in the prologue. It's just titled To Kill. This feels like the spark that ignites all the chaos for our main characters.
Yeah, this is where that abstract idea of betrayal becomes shockingly concrete and devastating. We meet Seth, the assassin in white. Super enigmatic figure. And he's bound by this mysterious oath stone, forced to murder King Gavilar of Alethkar. And this single act, it's so much more than just a political assassination. It's the catalyst. It plunges the whole kingdom into this brutal, prolonged war on the Shattered Plains.
It's such a powerful, inciting incident.
Absolutely. A masterclass, really. It's loaded with immediate, far-reaching consequences, layers of mystery, things that will unravel throughout the entire book, and honestly, the whole series.
And right away, even in that prologue, we get glimpses of Sanderson's unique world-building elements, like shard blades. Those are introduced pretty dramatically.
Indeed. It's our chilling introduction, first off, to the Barshendi's betrayal. That's the official reason given for the Alethi War anyway.
Right.
And we also get our first look at shard blades, these incredible, often sentient swords. Along with shard plate, they're the most powerful weapons on Roshar.
They sound terrifying, cutting through stone.
Oh, they are. These blades aren't just sharp. They can cut through almost anything. They can even sever a person's soul, supposedly.
Yeah.
It hints right away at Sanderson's really complex and deeply rooted magic system.
Yeah.
The way Szeth moves, the powers he wields, it all immediately establishes that Roshar is a world where ancient, powerful magic isn't just, lurking in the background. It's fundamental to its history and all the ongoing conflicts.
The political fallout from Gavilar's assassination, it feels incredibly familiar, like events from real-world history that completely reshaped nations.
It absolutely does. That sudden, violent removal of a powerful leader and the power vacuum that follows. That's a recurring theme throughout history, isn't it?
Definitely.
You think of the assassination of Julius Caesar back in 44 BC. That didn't bring peace to Rome. It ignited this brutal series of civil wars that ultimately reshaped the Roman Republic into a massive empire.
Right. Total chaos ensued.
Exactly. Yeah. And similarly, Gavilar's murder throws Alefkar into this grinding, seemingly endless conflict as all the various high princes just start jockeying for power, for prestige, for gem hearts. It's a stark reminder that even a single act of violence can have these profound, long-lasting consequences, echoing through generations and fundamentally altering the trajectory of entire nations. Like tossing a stone into a pond, the ripples just keep spreading.
And the prologue, right from the start, it raises some really deep philosophical questions too, doesn't it? Particularly around duty versus morality.
Oh, absolutely. This raises a crucial question right from the outset, that tension between absolute duty and personal morality. Szeth is explicitly bound by his oath stone to commit this atrocity.
Doesn't want to do it.
Not at all. He experiences immense anguish. He clearly hates what he's forced to do, yet he must obey. It immediately echoes those philosophical debates you see in works like Machiavelli's The Prince, which explores that complex relationship between power, morality, and, well, the necessities of statecraft. Machiavelli famously argued that a ruler might sometimes need to act against their moral inclinations for the perceived good of the state. Szeth's predicament forces us, the reader, to confront this chilling question. What does it mean to be bound by an oath, even one that compels you to commit unspeakable acts? Is the greater good, whatever that is, worth such personal damnation?
Wow. Yeah.
This moral ambiguity right there in the prologue, it sets this rich, complex tone that just permeates the entire series. It tells you this isn't going to be a simple story of good versus evil.
Okay, so that's an explicit start. Then we move into part 1, Above Silence, and we start meeting our main protagonists. First up is Kaladin, and he's in a really desperate situation. What's his state of being when we first meet him, and what does his survival of that high storm tell us about him?
Kaladin is introduced in a truly grim state. He's a disgraced soldier, branded a slave, facing the brutal realities of life on Roshar. His survival of a terrifying high storm, these massive, destructive weather phenomena unique to Roshar, it's not just like a dramatic display of resilience.
Right, it feels like more than just luck.
Exactly. It's a key moment that highlights his storm-blessed nickname. It hints at these latent, powerful connections to Roshar's storms, something inherently special about his nature. He's not just a lucky survivor. There's an almost supernatural quality to his endurance against these insane elemental forces. It immediately marks him as different, as someone touched by something extraordinary, even if he doesn't understand it himself yet.
His tragic fall, from being a respected military leader to being enslaved, it really resonates with historical stories. You think of samurai losing their masters or knights losing their honor.
It absolutely does. His path mirrors the plight of disgraced warriors throughout history. You mentioned Ronin, samurai who lost their master, or medieval knights stripped of their honor and status through misfortune or betrayal.
Yeah.
And the depiction of his trauma is so raw, so stark, it really draws from the psychological realities often depicted in historical battlefield accounts. It's not just the physical hardship, it's the crushing weight of lost purpose, that profound betrayal he suffered, and the sheer dehumanization of slavery.
Yeah.
This deep sense of personal loss and injustice becomes this powerful engine for so much of his early character arc as he grapples with why he should even continue to live in a world that seems to have taken absolutely everything from him.
So as Kaladin travels in that slave caravan, his despair deepens, but we also start to see these first glimmers of the leader he's going to become, right? Even in that hopelessness.
That's spot on. In the grueling, horrific conditions of the slave caravan, Kaladin is grappling with profound hopelessness. He's a man utterly broken by betrayal and circumstance. He truly believes honor is dead. Yet even in these dire circumstances, his innate leadership qualities begin to surface. He's observing, he's analyzing, he's subtly trying to influence those around him, despite his own shattered spirit. It's a testament to his core character that even when he believes honor is gone, the capacity for it, and for leading others, still flickers within him. He just can't help but try to protect and improve the lot of those around him, even if it seems like a totally futile effort. It shows his fundamental empathy is still there, buried deep down.
The grim realities of that slave caravan are just. They're truly evocative. They remind you of some really dark chapters in human history.
They are. The depiction is brutal. It evokes the horrific realities of historical slave trades, emphasizing the brutal dehumanization of individuals reduced to mere property. But even within this bleak setting, Sanderson makes sure to highlight the enduring human spirit, that resilience. The stark societal hierarchy depicted, where lives are cheap and power is absolute. It draws parallels to narratives of suffering and eventual uprising, maybe like in Victor Hugo's Les Miserables, where the downtrodden find strength and solidarity. It reminds us that even in the darkest corners, the fight for dignity and freedom can emerge, however faintly.
Kaladin's journey takes an even darker turn when he's assigned to Bridge 4. This is where the true horror of the Shattered Plains War becomes chillingly clear, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Being assigned to Bridge 4 is effectively a death sentence. It's a crew literally tasked with running these massive portable bridges across chasms under constant, deadly Parshendi arrow fire. Their expected lifespan is measured in weeks, maybe days.
Just horrific.
The conditions are brutal, the losses are senseless, the despair is absolutely crushing. Yet even here, Kaladin's immediate resolve to survive, and not just for himself, but for his fellow bridge runners, ignites the first real glimmers of hope within that hopelessness. This setup intentionally echoes the realities of something like World War I trench warfare, where soldiers faced unimaginable attrition and senseless loss daily. The constant danger, the dehumanizing disregard for human life, it's a brutal depiction of a war of attrition, and Kaladin is somehow determined to find a way to defy it against all possible odds.
And it's amidst this deepening despair that something truly unique to Roshar appears to Kaladin. Sil, tell us about her.
Right. His despair certainly deepens as he faces repeated failures and seemingly senseless losses. He hits rock bottom. But this is also where we encounter one of Sanderson's most crucial world-building elements. The Spren. Scylla, with this mysterious, almost childlike honor Spren, appears to Kaladin. She offers this spark of curiosity, a fragile sense of hope in his bleak world. Her presence isn't just whimsical, it's a profound interaction that hints at a deeper, almost forgotten connection between humans and the fundamental magical spirits of Roshar.
So Spren are like manifestations.
Exactly. Spren, in Roshar, are physical manifestations of emotions, ideas, natural forces. Scylla's unique behavior around Kaladin hints at a deeper bond, revealing how these elemental spirits interact with the world and his people, and suggesting that Kaladin might be very special indeed. She offers him companionship when he has absolutely none, and a sense of wonder in a world that has become nothing but pain and darkness for him.
And to give us a deeper understanding of Kaladin beyond just this broken soldier, we get a flashback. We see his compassionate past as a surgeon's apprentice.
Yes, this flashback is absolutely essential for truly understanding Kaladin. It reveals his compassionate past as a surgeon's apprentice, working under his father, Lirin. This doesn't just add layers to his character, it starkly highlights his lost dreams, the path he was meant to take before he was brutally forced into the military. It humanizes him far beyond just being a skilled fighter. It shows his innate desire to heal and protect rather than destroy. This background also kind of echoes the historical role of, say, medieval barber surgeons, who combined practical medical skill with a certain social stigma, further emphasizing the depth and the loss of Kaladin's original calling before his life was so tragically diverted. He wasn't just forced into being a soldier. He was fundamentally warped from his true nature.
Okay, so while Kaladin is grappling with despair and finding these tiny sparks of hope, Shallan Devar begins her journey in the bustling city of bells, Kharbranth. Her mission is very different, isn't it?
Oh, worlds apart, truly. Shallan arrives in Kharbranth to apprentice under Jasnah, who is this formidable scholar and also a princess. But her true secret agenda is to steal a soulcaster, a powerful magical artifact, to save her desperate family back home from utter ruin. From the outset, her quick wit, her sharp mind, and her exceptional artistic talent are immediately apparent. She's navigating a world of high society, intellectual pursuits.
Yeah.
A stark contrast to Kaladin's grim, war-torn reality.
Yeah.
But her world has its own hidden dangers, and crucially, its own moral complexities. She's playing a very high-stakes game of deception from the moment she arrives.
Her initial pursuit, trying to get Jasnah's patronage while planning this theft, it reminds me a lot of historical patronage systems, like artists or scholars seeking support from powerful figures in the Renaissance.
They absolutely do. Shallan's initial pursuit of patronage from Jasnah and her mission to acquire this powerful artifact reflect those Renaissance-era patronage systems perfectly. During that period, scholars, artists, even early scientists often sought support from powerful noble families or religious figures to fund their work and achieve their goals. Shallan is essentially seeking to leverage Jasnah's position, to gain access to something she desperately needs for her family's survival. It echoes that complex web of dependency, ambition, and hidden agendas that define so many of those historical relationships. It adds this grounded layer of social dynamics to her fantastical quest.
And then in the chapter Heretic, we see Shallan's intellect truly shine in her philosophical debates with Jasnah. That dynamic is fascinating.
This chapter is pivotal for their evolving relationship. Shallan's philosophical debates with Jasnah reveal her own nascent intellectual rigor and even a hint of atheism. She directly challenges Jasnah's heresy, which questions the very religious and philosophical foundations of their society.
Right, Jasnah is quite controversial.
Extremely. Their exchanges are sharp, intelligent, and they immediately set up this fascinating mentor-student dynamic built on intellectual challenge and mutual respect, rather than just simple instruction. It's clear that Shallan's not just some thief in disguise. She's an intellectual force to be reckoned with, capable of holding her own against one of Roshar's greatest minds.
Jasnah's heresy and her intellectual independence, they really resonate with significant periods in our own history, like the Enlightenment, don't they?
They do, profoundly.
Yeah.
Jasnah's open heresy and her relentless pursuit of intellectual independence strongly resonate with Enlightenment thinkers like Voltaire, who famously challenged established religious and societal norms through reason and critical inquiry. Their dialogues have the feel of Socratic debates, where knowledge is pursued through relentless questioning and the challenging of deeply held assumptions. It highlights the subversive power of ideas and how, even in a fantastical setting, intellectual freedom can be a truly revolutionary force. Their conversations aren't just exposition. There are these vibrant explorations of deep philosophical divides that have shaped human civilization for centuries.
So, in Anything Reasonable, Shallan's plan to steal the Soulcaster moves forward, but it gets complicated, right? Because she starts to actually respect Jasnah.
Yes. Her plan to steal the Soulcaster continues to move forward, but her developing respect and even, you could say, affection for Jasnah begins to seriously complicate her mission. She's increasingly torn between her family's desperate needs, that sense of duty she feels, and her own burgeoning ethical compass.
Yeah, that must be tough.
It forces her to grapple with this profound moral dilemma, a classic setup in spy narratives or stories of infiltration, right? She's finding herself in a situation where the target of her deception is becoming a figure she genuinely admires, making the act of betrayal increasingly difficult, almost unbearable. It's a testament to Sanderson's character depth that he doesn't make Shallan's path easy or morally clear-cut at all.
Okay, now let's turn to our third major viewpoint character, Dalinar Kholin. In the Shattered Plains, he's grappling with both the external war and something deeply personal and internal. What's going on with him?
Dalinar, who is King Gavilar's brother, he's a high prince and a respected general, navigating the treacherous Alethi political landscape on the Shattered Plains. But simultaneously, he's experiencing these vivid and disturbing visions of ancient times, a world filled with the Knights Radiant, with true honor, real purpose.
Right, the visions.
These visions make him question his own sanity, even as the brutal war with the Parshendi intensifies around him. He's desperately trying to hold his family and the kingdom together amidst external war and internal strife, all while battling what everyone around him, and sometimes even himself, perceives as the onset of madness. It's a heavy, heavy burden for a man who wants to find himself purely by his martial prowess, by being the Blackthorn.
His visions and his role as a leader trying to guide his people while having them, it evokes prophetic figures throughout history, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Dalinar's prophetic visions evoke historical figures who claim divine or mystical guidance, blending that mysticism with the immense burdens of leadership. You could think of Joan of Arc, who claimed to hear divine voices guiding her military campaigns to rally a fractured France, or even biblical prophets whose visions shaped the destiny of entire nations. The weight of his visions, combined with the practical demands of leading an army and trying to manage a fractured kingdom, creates this fascinating internal and external conflict for him. He's trying to make sense of these inexplicable phenomena while everyone around him just thinks he's losing his mind.
And in Nearer the Flame, those visions escalate. They start pushing him towards a specific radical idea that's met with a lot of suspicion.
Yeah, his visions increasingly urge him towards Alethi unity, which is a radical and deeply unpopular idea in a kingdom fractured by these self-serving high princes who are mostly just focused on individual glory and plundering gem hearts from the Parshendi.
So not exactly team players.
Not at all. This pushes him to advocate for a complete change in strategy, moving away from simple retribution towards unification, a concept many find absurd, even weak. And compounding his struggle, King Elhokar, Dalinar's nephew and the new king, grows increasingly suspicious of his uncle's motives. He views this madness, these visions, as a potential grab for power.
Oh, okay.
This suspicion fuels immense internal court intrigue, highlighting the deep political divisions that plague Alethkar, even in the middle of a war.
Dalinar's relentless push for unity, despite all that internal resistance, it has powerful historical parallels, doesn't it? Leaders trying to consolidate fractured kingdoms?
It undeniably does. Dalinar's relentless push for unity mirrors historical leaders who sought to consolidate power and unite fractured kingdoms. Think of someone like Charlemagne, who forged a vast empire out of disparate European territories. Such efforts are almost always met with immense resistance from those who benefit from the status quo or who fear a loss of their own power and influence. The political intrigue, the backstabbing, the subtle maneuvering for influence, it's as sharp and dangerous as anything you'd see in the power struggles depicted in, say, Game of Thrones. It's a world where alliances are incredibly fragile, and betrayal is always a possibility, even within families.
Okay, so we've met our main characters now, Kaladin, Shallan, Dalinar. But Sanderson uses these interludes to skillfully expand the world beyond their immediate storylines. The first one, Ishik, introduces us to a new region and suggests a much larger scope to Roshar.
Yeah, the Ishik interlude is a fantastic piece of world building right off the bat. It introduces us to this fisherman, Ishik, living on the fringes of Roshar in a place called the Pure Lake. He encounters these mysterious foreigners, they call themselves world singers maybe, and they're seeking a figure tied to Roshar's ancient myths, specifically Hoid.
Hoid, right. He pops up everywhere.
Exactly. This immediately expands the scope of the world beyond just Alethkar and the Shattered Plains. It signals the existence of a vast, diverse planet with numerous cultures and introduces the idea of larger, unseen forces at play across the entire globe. It suggests that the conflicts we are seeing are just one piece of the much larger global tapestry, and that the history of Roshar is far more intricate than we initially thought.
And these foreigners, these world singers, they really evoke historical explorers venturing into distant lands for knowledge, not just conquest.
They absolutely do. The mysterious foreigners evoke historical explorers like Marco Polo, who ventured into distant lands not just for conquest or trade, but primarily for knowledge, to understand different cultures and societies. It showcases the vastness and diversity of Roshar, indicating that there are many different civilizations and belief systems beyond those of the Alethi. It hints at a world rich with history and hidden mysteries, drawing your imagination beyond the immediate conflict and suggesting a deeply interconnected planetary system.
Then, Interlude Nenbalat gives us a darker, more intimate look into Shallan's past and her motivations.
Yeah, this interlude adds crucial, darker layers to Shallan's backstory and profoundly deepens our understanding of why she's doing what she's doing. We see her brother, Nenbalat, struggling profoundly with crippling family debts and the cruelty inflicted upon them by others in their rural homeland of Jah-Keved. This context illuminates precisely why Shallan is so desperate to obtain that soulcaster and save her family. It reveals the immense financial and social pressures she's under. It underscores the extremely high stakes of her personal mission, showing that her drive comes from a place of profound necessity and the deep trauma of her family's past.
The family's desperate situation with overwhelming debt.
Yeah.
It certainly mirrors some very real historical plights, doesn't it? Like Victorian England.
It does. The family's desperate situation with overwhelming debt mirrors historical debt crises like those that plagued families in Victorian-era England, where unmanageable debts could lead to utter ruin, social ostracization, even imprisonment in debtors' prisons. It emphasizes the desperation and social pressures that can drive individuals to extreme measures, making Shallan's motivations profoundly relatable and tragic, even in this fantastical setting. It's a powerful illustration of how societal structures can impose immense suffering. Then we have Interlude Seth, the glory of ignorance, which brings us back to the assassin in white, delving deeper into his internal turmoil.
Right, and his internal torment really deepens here, doesn't it? He's clearly not just a cold-blooded killer. He's portrayed as a weapon with a conscience, which is just agonizing.
Precisely. This interlude further explores Seth's profound internal torment. He's explicitly portrayed as a tool of others, bound by his mysterious oath stone to commit horrific acts against his will. This immediately establishes him as a truly tragic figure, caught in schemes far beyond his control or understanding. He carries immense guilt and suffering, making him infinitely more complex than a simple villain. We vividly see his anguish over the atrocities he's forced to commit, highlighting the terrible burden of his binding and the systematic destruction of his soul.
His servitude also parallels some fascinating historical assassin archetypes, but with this unique, heartbreaking twist of being completely without choice.
It does. His servitude parallels historical assassins, who were bound by a strict, often religiously or ritually enforced duty. You could think of the Hashashin, the Nizari Ismaili sect, known for their political assassinations during the Middle Ages. This interlude truly establishes the moral complexity of his character, forcing the reader to grapple with the idea of free will versus absolute obedience, and the profound tragedy of a powerful individual stripped of their autonomy. It highlights the profound and inescapable nature of his binding and the suffering it causes him, making him a deeply sympathetic character despite the terrible deeds he performs.
Okay, that wraps up the first set of interludes. And just a quick reminder to everyone listening, if you're enjoying this deep dive, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps us out and ensures you get more updates as we continue our journey through the Way of Kings.
Absolutely, every bit helps. All right, picking up from those interludes, let's return to Kaladin in Part 2, the illuminating storms. This is where we see a really significant shift in his journey, right? He starts to truly lead Bridge 4. What transforms his approach, and how does Syl's presence bolster his spirit?
Yeah, he goes from just surviving to actually doing something.
Exactly. This is where we witness Kaladin truly beginning to take charge of his desperate situation. He starts rigorously training Bridge 4, not just for basic survival, but for cohesion, discipline, and ultimately to try and make them something resembling a fighting unit. Despite their grim fate as expendable bridge runners, he works tirelessly to foster true camaraderie among this doomed crew.
And Syl is key here.
Syl's presence here is crucial. Her playful yet profoundly insightful nature offers him a constant, as subtle source of hope, and maybe a distraction from his ever-present despair. This isn't just about training soldiers. It's about building a true unit in the face of certain death, creating a sense of purpose where there was absolutely none before.
His focus on discipline and unconventional training, building those bonds even when facing certain death. It echoes some important military reforms throughout history, doesn't it? Like leaders who emphasize morale and training.
His approach indeed echoes historical military reforms. You could think of someone like Gustavus Adolphus of Sweden in the 17th century, who revolutionized warfare by emphasizing strict discipline, innovative tactics, and building incredibly strong bonds and morale among his soldiers. It highlights that the principles of effective leadership and unit cohesion are universal, transcending time and even fantastical settings. Kaladin understands instinctively that a unit that trusts and fights for each other is far more effective and resilient than just a mere collection of broken individuals. That's a lesson hard learned in any conflict, real or imagined.
And the crew, they eventually start to buy into Kaladin's unconventional training, right? You see that shift in their loyalty and maybe even a flicker of hope.
Yes, despite their initial, completely understandable cynicism and deep-seated despair, the crew gradually begins to adopt Kaladin's rigorous and often unconventional training methods. Things like synchronized movements, disciplined drills. They start taking pride in it.
Right.
This acceptance marks a powerful turning point. It shows their burgeoning loyalty and a new sense of pride in their shared survival. They start to see that his methods, though harsh and demanding, are effective and truly aimed at their survival and, maybe just as importantly, their dignity.
Yeah.
Syl's role in his life also becomes clearer here. She's not just a curiosity or a companion anymore. She's a guiding presence, subtly pushing him towards his destiny, helping him rediscover his lost sense of purpose and honor. She sees something in him that even he can't yet recognize. A latent capacity for greatness. She believes in him when you can't believe in himself.
This shift culminates really dramatically in a bloody ghost. That feels like a true turning point for Kaladin in Bridge 4. What happens there and why is it so significant?
Oh, it's an absolute game changer. This chapter depicts a dramatic and brutal bridge run, where Kaladin's leadership and his innovative tactics, his insistence on discipline, strategic movement, using the brick itself as cover, directly save lives.
Okay.
While other bridge crews are just slaughtered as usual, his quick thinking and self-sacrifice allow Bridge 4 to survive against overwhelming odds. This completely defies the usual soul-crushing attrition of that World War I-like trench warfare they've been subjected to. It showcases his nascent genius as a military commander. He's not just a survivor anymore, he's a tactical innovator, capable of turning despair into desperate victory. It's a powerful moment where his skills and courage become undeniable, even to his most cynical and despairing crew members, cementing their belief in him.
And after that near catastrophe in Why Men Lie, Kaladin grapples with the complexities of trust within this newfound unit he's building.
He does. He questions the very nature of trust within Bridge 4, especially after some instances of fear, maybe betrayal or failure among the new recruits who are constantly being added as others die.
Right, it's a tough environment to build trust.
Extremely. But it's Syl who consistently acts as his moral compass, that quiet reminder of hope. She helps him see their potential for unity, reminding him of their inherent worth and the crucial importance of cohesion and honesty in such a desperate situation. It's a profound lesson in building a truly functional team, that trust must be earned, maintained, and sometimes fiercely fought for, especially when lives are on the line and every single decision carries deadly consequences.
Then in many uses, Kaladin begins to subtly experiment with something. Well, something far beyond basic survival techniques. What's happening there?
This is a crucial step towards his destiny. Kaladin begins to subtly experiment with Stormlight, that fundamental energy source that powers many of Roshar's magical abilities. He finds he can use it, even if unintentionally at first, to heal himself from grievous wounds with incredible speed, move with uncanny agility, and exert unusual force. This hints directly at his dormant radiant powers and his true inherent connection to the world's fundamental magic system. It sets him on the path to becoming something far more than just a soldier or a slave. It's the first tangible sign that his storm-blessed nature is truly supernatural, not just a quirk of luck or stubbornness. Okay, now let's shift back to Shallan's journey in this section. In The Decoy, she's navigating Jasnah's growing trust while still pursuing her secret mission to steal the Soulcaster. That's a tricky balance.
Yeah, her dilemma here, balancing that secret mission with her growing personal loyalty to Jasnah, it really reminds me of historical spies, doesn't it? People who had to get close to their targets.
It truly does. Her predicament mirrors historical spies who had to balance their perceived loyalty to one side with their underlying mission of deception for another. You think of the complex court intrigues where spies had to gain the absolute trust of their targets to extract information or complete their objectives. Shallan's increasing guilt is a key element here. She's not some cold-hearted operative. The emotional toll of her deception is profoundly evident, making her internal struggle far more compelling than just a simple heist story. She's actively wrestling with her conscience, making her choices incredibly difficult and poignant.
And in eyes, hands, or spheres, Shallan truly reaches a moral crossroads, doesn't she? It gets even harder for her.
Yeah, her plan to steal the Soulcaster falters significantly as her respect, admiration, and frankly, affection for Jasnah deepen. This leads to a profound moral crossroads where she must choose between her family's desperate, perceived duty to steal the artifact and her own growing ethical compass and loyalty to her brilliant mentor.
Tough choice.
It's huge. This isn't just about stealing an object anymore. It's about a choice that will fundamentally define her character and her path forward. It's a classic example of how deep personal relationships can complicate even the most carefully laid and seemingly necessary plans, forcing a reevaluation of one's own priorities and values.
And then, in The Glory of Ignorance, same title as Seath's interlude, interestingly, Shallan makes a shocking discovery, something that dramatically deepens her bond with Jasnah, but not in the way she expected.
This is a powerful and pivotal moment for their relationship. Shallan uncovers Jasnah's groundbreaking and frankly terrifying research on Voidbringers.
Voidbringers, the mythical monsters.
Exactly. Mythical, terrifying creatures believed to be long extinct, whose return could literally spell the end of civilization on Roshar. This isn't just an academic discovery, it's a revelation that deepens their intellectual bond, transforming their mentor-student relationship into a true partnership built on shared knowledge and a terrifying world-threatening secret.
Wow.
It radically shifts Shallan's focus from her personal desperate theft mission to this cosmic peril that threatens the very existence of Roshar. It forces her to realize that Jasnah's work is infinitely more important than her family's immediate financial woes, putting her own problems into a stark new perspective.
Jasnah's relentless scholarship here, digging into these forbidden or revolutionary truths, It really evokes specific historical intellectual movements, like scientists challenging the status quo.
Her dedication to uncovering forbidden or revolutionary truths undeniably mirrors Enlightenment researchers. Think of Galileo challenging established scientific dogmas with his telescopic observations, or Isaac Newton revealing universal laws of physics.
Right.
Jasnah is fearlessly delving into truths that defy conventional wisdom, religious dogma, and societal taboos. It adds these cosmic stakes to their partnership, making their intellectual pursuit a profound quest to save the very world by understanding its hidden dangers. Their bond becomes one of shared intellectual curiosity and a courageous pursuit of dangerous truths, a bond built on the foundations of knowledge and discovery, not just apprenticeship.
Okay, let's turn back to Dalinar now. In Unity, he's pushing tirelessly for Alethi cooperation, but he's facing immense resistance from the other High Princes.
He is. Dalinar tirelessly pushes for Alethi cooperation and unity on the Shattered Plains. It's a truly radical idea given the High Prince's selfish focus on individual glory and basically plunder from Gemheart hunting on the plateaus.
They're not interested in teamwork?
Not in the slightest. However, powerful rivals continuously undermine him, seeing his ideas as a direct threat to their own power and their established way of life. And compounding his struggle, his increasingly vivid visions reveal these ancient knights radiant in a past that completely contradicts current understanding, further deepening his isolation as others just dismiss him as mad or, worse, manipulative. He's struggling to rally a fractured kingdom that doesn't understand the true existential nature of the threat that he senses is bearing down on them.
His efforts to unify such a disparate group, especially against both internal resistance and an external enemy, that has powerful historical parallels, doesn't it? Trying to form coalitions.
They absolutely do. His unification efforts echo historical attempts to form grand coalitions or unite disparate, often warring states. You can think of the Holy Roman Empire, which was a sprawling, often fractured entity that constantly struggled for cohesion. It emphasizes the immense difficulty of achieving genuine political consensus, especially when powerful individuals benefit from disunity and conflict. Dalinar faces the monumental challenge of convincing these self-interested nobles to act for the common good, a struggle that is played out in countless historical courts and battlefields. It reminds us that often the greatest enemies are found within your own camp.
So, in High Prince of War, Dalinar continues this quest for unity amidst escalating political schemes against him.
He persists with unwavering resolve, despite the pushback. Dalinar continues his quest to unify the Alethi, believing it's the only way to effectively fight the Parshendi War and, more importantly, prepare for a much greater, impending threat he senses from his visions. However, the intricate political schemes against him intensify dramatically. Other High Princes are actively working to undermine his influence, discredit his reputation, and even challenge his sanity publicly.
Wow, that's rough.
These relentless machinations threaten to unravel his entire vision for Electar and destroy his legacy, maybe even his physical and mental health. He's fighting a brutal war on two fronts, against the Parshendi externally and against his own people internally, who seem to fear his reforms more than the actual enemy.
Dalinar's struggle to unite a fractured nation, facing that internal opposition while fighting an external war. It powerfully reminds me of Abraham Lincoln during the American Civil War.
That's a very apt comparison, I think. His struggle can be powerfully compared to leaders like Abraham Lincoln attempting to unite a fractured nation during the Civil War. Both faced immense internal opposition, profound suspicion, and outright betrayal while trying to hold together a nation on the brink of collapse. The immense stakes involved, the future of an entire people, an entire civilization, are palpable in Dalinar's story, just as they were for Lincoln. It's about more than just winning battles. It's about forging a common purpose and a shared identity when everything seems determined to pull you apart.
And his visions only intensify in Starfall's, right? They become even more imperative, pushing him harder.
Indeed. Dalinar's visions intensify dramatically. They reveal more about the Knights' Radiant's history, their oaths, the ancient enemies they fought. These visions are no longer just passive experiences. They forcefully urge him to act decisively, guiding his strategic and moral choices with increasing urgency. They are his true north, giving him clarity amidst the political fog and his own personal doubts. They are these profound glimpses into a forgotten past that hold the crucial key to Roshar's future, pushing him from contemplation to direct, often unpopular action.
These powerful visions, guiding the leader through a time of crisis, it really does echo prophetic leaders throughout history, doesn't it?
It does, profoundly. These powerful visions echo prophetic leaders throughout history, like Muhammad, whose divine insights were believed to guide their people to action and shape the course of entire civilizations. It underlines the immense weight of Dalinar's perceived destiny and the cosmic significance of his increasingly unpopular decisions. He's not just receiving information, he feels like he's receiving a mandate, a moral imperative that transcends conventional politics and demands radical change. He's becoming a visionary, even if others can't see what he sees.
In the Gallery of Maps, Dalinar even clashes with his own son, Adolin, over strategy. That must create tension.
It creates a poignant generational divide in leadership and philosophy. Adolin is a skilled duelist, a brilliant tactician, a charismatic warrior. He represents the more traditional honor duel-focused Alethi approach to war and glory.
Right, the old ways.
Exactly. Dalinar, conversely, guided by his increasingly urgent visions, pushes for a more unified, strategic, and ultimately honorable approach that prioritizes survival and the good of all Alethi over individual accolades and pointless duels. Their clash highlights not just tactical disagreements, but fundamentally different philosophies of warfare and governance. All the while, Dalinar's visions push him toward even bolder, riskier actions that defy conventional wisdom actions that Adolin, for all his skill and loyalty, can't yet fully grasp or accept. It's a tragic but understandable rift between two good men who want the same thing but see different paths.
And in stillness, Dalinar faces political isolation because of these unconventional beliefs, but his visions paradoxically reinforce his resolve. How does that work?
He becomes an increasing outcast among his peers, the other High Princes. Dalinar faces immense political isolation due to his unconventional beliefs and his relentless pursuit of unity, which many High Princes see as madness or, again, a thinly veiled grab for power. He's increasingly ostracized and ridiculed. However, his visions, experienced during the quiet introspection of the stillness season, that time of peaceful, torrential rains, paradoxically reinforce his unwavering resolve to unite the Alethi. Like maybe Winston Churchill standing almost alone against appeasement before World War II, Dalinar is willing to stand alone if it means doing what he believes is right for the future of his people. He finds strength in his solitude and his profound inner convictions, confirmed by these visions.
Okay, moving on again. We get more interludes expanding our view. Interludes I-4 to I-6 give us diverse perspectives and deepen Zethi's torment. Let's start with I-4, Race. This introduces us to Shinovar.
Right. The reason interlude introduces us to a merchant apprentice navigating trade in Shinovar. This is a culturally distinct region of Roshar, very different from Alethkar. Here, stone is sacred, the landscape is surprisingly temperate compared to the storm-blasted, shattered plains, and the people have an entirely different way of life, almost pacifistic in some ways.
So, totally different vibe.
Completely. This interlude immediately reveals a different, culturally diverse facet of Roshar, showing us that the world is far larger and more varied than just the Alethi warring on the plains. It hints at different civilizations, different customs, and entirely different threats, expanding the reader's mental map of this incredible world.
Her journey, focused on trade and cultural exchange, really mirrors ancient historical trade routes like the Silk Road, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Her journey mirrors the ancient Silk Road merchants, who connected vast empires and facilitated not just the exchange of goods, but also profound cultural knowledge, ideas, and even technological innovations across continents. It powerfully emphasizes the vastness of the world and the critical importance of cultural exchange beyond the battlefield. It's a powerful reminder that even in a world seemingly consumed by war, there's a vibrant, interconnected global economy and diverse societies that exist outside the immediate conflict, quietly shaping the world in their own ways.
Then, in Interlude I-5, Axes the Collector, we meet this whimsical yet insightful scholar focused on Roshar's unique magic system, the Spren.
Axes is great. He's an eccentric scholar, possibly immortal, who devotes his life to studying Spren. He offers this whimsical yet profoundly insightful look at Roshar's unique magic system and ecosystem. He travels the world, meticulously documenting and observing the myriad types of Spren and their sometimes peculiar behaviors.
Like a naturalist for magic.
Exactly. His approach is almost scientific, despite the fantastical subject matter. He's seeking to categorize and understand these elusive entities. It's a reminder of the sheer imaginative scope of Sanderson's world building, showing us that even the magical elements have their own underlying logic, patterns, and fascinating intricacies ripe for scholarly investigation.
His methodical research into what seems like a purely magical aspect of the world, it can be compared to historical naturalists like Darwin, right?
Yeah.
Cataloging the unknown.
Absolutely. His methodical research and dedication to cataloging the unknown can be powerfully compared to naturalists like Charles Darwin, who meticulously documented the natural world and its incredible biodiversity during his voyages of discovery. Axes brings a rigorous scientific lens to the fantastical, seeking to understand the fundamental forces that animate Roshar. He's not just observing, he's trying to understand the why and how of these magical beings, much like early scientists attempted to categorize and explain the natural world. It shows a cool convergence of scientific curiosity and magical reality. And finally, for this section of interludes, I-6, a work of art, brings us back to Szeth once more.
Right, and his assassinations continue, deepening his torment. What more do we learn here about the profound, tragic situation he's trapped in?
His assassination missions continue relentlessly, each one further deepening his profound torment. He remains a living weapon, a tool completely devoid of agency, forced to commit horrific acts against his will. This interlude provides further, more overt hints of a larger, more sinister conspiracy at play behind his actions. It reveals that Szeth is a pawn in a truly grand, malicious game that spans kingdoms and affects the very fate of Roshar. His despair is almost palpable as he continues to be this reluctant, suffering instrument of immense destruction, stripped of all free will.
His role continues to evoke those historical figures bound by dark duty and ritual, but with that added layer of tragic destiny being manipulated by unseen forces.
It does. His role continues to evoke historical assassins, maybe like the thugs of India, who are bound by ritual and duty to commit acts of violence, often with a deep-seated belief in their purpose. However, the revelation of the larger unseen conspiracy behind Szeth adds a new, chilling layer. It emphasizes the tragic and inescapable nature of his servitude to a truly malevolent force. He is a tool, but a tool with a soul, and that soul is being incrementally crushed by every command. It leaves you wondering if he can ever escape his bonds or find redemption.
Okay, we're now diving into part 3, appropriately titled Dying. This is where we really start to see some significant developments, particularly with Kaladin's powers awakening. In Beneath the Skin, his use of Stormlight grows more pronounced.
Yeah, this is a truly critical point in Kaladin's journey. His use of Stormlight grows more pronounced. He finds he can heal from grievous wounds with incredible speed, increase his physical strength, and move with superhuman agility. This explicitly hints at his true radiant nature and is a significant step towards fully embracing his destiny.
And the rest of Bridge 4 must be noticing this.
Oh, absolutely. This burgeoning power also profoundly strengthens Bridge 4's bond, and their absolute belief in him as they witness his miraculous endurance and his unwavering commitment to their survival. They're starting to believe in him as more than just a leader. They see him as something truly legendary, almost supernatural.
His increasing powers and his growing mastery over them, it really parallels mythic heroes gradually gaining extraordinary abilities like Hercules or someone.
It absolutely does. His increasing powers and growing mastery of Stormlight powerfully parallel mythic heroes like Hercules, who gradually gain divine strength or extraordinary abilities as they embark on their legendary labors and face impossible challenges. It signifies a true awakening, a transformation from a broken, despairing man to someone destined for greatness, even if he doesn't yet fully understand the scope of it himself. It gives his journey a true heroic arc as he slowly discovers the latent, world-changing power within him.
Then in Side Carry, Kaladin invents this daring new bridge-carrying technique. It seems like a direct defiance of the whole system that's enslaving them.
Yes, this is an incredible moment of tactical brilliance and pure defiance. Kaladin invents a daring new bridge-carrying technique, the side carry, which directly defies the traditional suicidal methods imposed by the Alethi High Princes for their expendable bridge crews.
How does it work?
Instead of carrying it flat and exposed, they carry it on its side, offering cover. This innovative approach, while risky and rebellious, solidifies his unconventional leadership and proves his tactical genius and his profound care for his men. It's a moment where his practical intelligence and compassion lead to a revolutionary, life-saving strategy that others would never have conceived, directly challenging the brutal, established order that sees them as disposable.
This innovation in tactics, defying established norms to achieve victory. It echoes significant military reformers throughout history, doesn't it? People who thought outside the box.
It absolutely does. This innovation echoes military reformers like Hannibal Barca, the Carthaginian general, known for his unconventional and brilliant strategies that often defied the established norms of warfare, like crossing the Alps with elephants. It demonstrates how adaptability, ingenuity, And a willingness to break traditional rules can revolutionize warfare and turn the tide against seemingly insurmountable odds. Kaladin is not just fighting, he's rethinking the very nature of conflict on the Shattered Plains, prioritizing lives over archaic, deadly customs.
Stormwall shows Kaladin's crew surviving a harrowing high storm together. This feels like a testament to their newfound unity.
Their survival of a terrifying high storm out on the plateaus is a powerful testament to their growing unity and Kaladin's exceptional leadership. Despite the immense danger of the high storm, they weather it together, proving the strength of their bonds forged in trial and their absolute trust in Kaladin's guidance. This isn't just about physical endurance, it's about the psychological resilience developed through shared hardship and unwavering faith in their leader. They've become a true, cohesive unit, capable of defying even nature itself when they work together. Their survival in such impossible conditions powerfully mirrors historical units enduring immense trials, like Shackleton's crew.
It definitely does. Their survival mirrors historical units enduring immense trials in impossible conditions, like Ernest Shackleton's crew stuck in the Antarctic ice. They survived extreme cold, starvation, and isolation through incredible resilience and courageous leadership. It highlights the profound power of human resilience and shared purpose in the face of overwhelming natural forces and adversity. It underscores that sometimes the greatest battles are fought against the elements and despair itself, with unity as the ultimate weapon. But then in sides, Kaladin's side carry tactic while saving lives earns him harsh punishment, right? The system pushes back.
Yes. His continued defiance of traditional suicidal orders, though it saves countless lives among his crew, earns him severe punishment from High Prince Sadeas. This further tests his resolve and his commitment to his men over strict, senseless rules. It highlights the deep conflict between his evolving moral code and the brutal, often illogical demands of the Alethi military system. He's willing to sacrifice his own well-being and endure further degradation for his men, solidifying his identity as their unwavering protector, even at immense personal cost.
His defiance of an oppressive system for the sake of his people. It certainly echoes historical figures who challenge the status quo, like Spartacus.
It absolutely does. His defiance echoes historical figures like Spartacus, who led a massive slave revolt against the oppressive Roman Republic for the sake of their people's freedom and dignity. It demonstrates the high stakes of his sacrifice and his unwavering commitment to his chosen family, Bridge 4. He's becoming a powerful symbol of resistance, even in his continued servitude, embodying the struggle against tyranny and the fight for basic human dignity within that brutal system.
In Invisitor, Kaladin learns something significant about his burgeoning powers, connecting them to something ancient.
He learns of the Invisitors, these ancient individuals who supposedly sought to cultivate radiant powers through specific practices and enlightenment, often through self-inflicted pain or extreme circumstances. This crucial piece of lore connects his emerging abilities to ancient prophecies and a larger predestined role in Roshar's future. It grounds his intensely personal journey within the grand cosmological narrative of the world, suggesting his destiny is part of a much older, forgotten story, a legacy he is unknowingly reclaiming, even if the Invisitors themselves were maybe misguided.
Eyes of Red and Blue shows Kaladin's powers awakening even more subtly, but with increasing clarity, and Syl's role becomes clearer too.
Yeah, his powers awaken more subtly here, manifesting as enhanced speed, agility, and healing, often without his full conscious control, but with growing frequency. Syl's role as his guide and companion becomes increasingly clear and vital. She's not just a whimsical spirit anymore. She's an intrinsic part of his connection to Stormlight, helping him understand and navigate these new abilities, even while he sometimes resists them or fears them. She is not just a companion, but a crucial link to the magic itself, guiding him on his path to becoming a Radiant, acting as his moral and magical anchor.
And in Of Alds and Milp, Kaladin bonds even further with Bridge 4, getting to know them as individuals.
He bonds even further with Bridge 4 during shared moments of hardship, quiet conversation around the fire, and even unexpected camaraderie, like sharing stories. He begins to truly uncover their individual humanity, their personal stories, their lost dreams before they ended up as bridge slaves. This solidifies the unbreakable trust and familial loyalty within the crew. These moments of shared vulnerability and storytelling are essential to forging the deep, unbreakable bonds that will define Bridge 4's absolute loyalty to Kaladin. They are no longer just a condemned crew, they are a family, a true brotherhood forged in fire and shared hope. These deep bonds, forged in the crucible of conflict, powerfully parallel historical examples of military camaraderie, like soldiers in the trenches.
They absolutely do. These deep bonds powerfully parallel the profound camaraderie developed among soldiers in historical conflicts, you could say, the American Civil War, where shared hardship, mutual reliance, and the constant threat of death forged unbreakable loyalties that often lasted a lifetime. It's a powerful illustration of how adversity can create the strongest human connections, transforming strangers into an unbreakable unit, a chosen family. The Wretch depicts Kaladin facing profound despair, reaching his absolute lowest point. But something pulls him back from the brink, right? He doesn't give up.
This is a truly raw and emotional chapter. It showcases the depths of Kaladin's internal struggle with depression and suicidal thoughts after a series of setbacks. He faces profound despair, reaching the very limits of his endurance, standing on the edge of the honor chasm.
Yeah, it's intense.
But it's Sisiel, and, crucially, Bridge 4, represented by Rock and Teft in that moment, who collectively pull him back from the brink through their unwavering belief in him, their shared purpose, and their desperate need for his leadership. Their trust in him, despite his own crushing doubts, reinforces his purpose and the immense value of his chosen family. It's a powerful moment of communal resilience, showing that even the strongest individuals need support and a reason to fight, a reason to live.
His battle with profound depression and despair. It mirrors figures from our own history, highlighting the internal strength required to lead even when suffering.
It does, profoundly. His battle with profound depression and despair mirrors historical figures like Abraham Lincoln, who famously grappled with severe bouts of melancholy throughout his life while leading a nation through its greatest crisis. It highlights the immense internal strength required to lead, especially when carrying the immense weight of responsibility and the suffering of those you lead. It makes Kaladin's struggles feel incredibly real and human, transcending the fantasy setting. It demonstrates that even heroes are not immune to the darkness within, and that finding strength often comes from connection. Okay, now let's check back in with Shallan's journey in this section. In Arrogance, her relationship with Jasnah deepens, but her traumatic past relentlessly haunts her.
Her struggle to maintain that facade while hiding these deep-seated emotional wounds. It definitely evokes those Victorian heroines hiding dark secrets, doesn't it?
Indeed. Her struggle to maintain her facade of composure and deal with her deep-seated emotional wounds evokes Victorian heroines hiding dark secrets, like in Jane Eyre or other Gothic literature. It adds layers of tension and profound psychological depth to her character. It reveals that her inner turmoil is as significant and dangerous as any external threat she might face. The past is not just history for Shallan. It's a living wound that constantly threatens to unravel her progress and her current stability, creating a compelling internal conflict that runs parallel to her external mission. Cymatics shows Shallan learning of Jasnah's intriguing and quite esoteric research into sound and patterns. Shallan learns of Jasnah's cymatic research. It's this intriguing connection between sound, vibration, and Roshar's profound mysteries. Cymatics is the study of visible sound and vibration patterns, like how sand forms patterns on a vibrating plate. Jasnah is exploring how sound and light might literally shape the world, connecting it to the very nature of spren and the underlying fabric of reality itself.
Wow, that's pretty abstract.
It is. It reveals another facet of Jasnah's staggering intellectual prowess and the depth of Roshar's underlying magical principles. It suggests a potential scientific understanding of magic, that it follows rules, even if those rules are strange.
Cymatics, as a study of hidden patterns and forces, it can be compared to pivotal Renaissance scientific discoveries, right? Finding order in the chaos.
It can. Cymatics, as a study of hidden patterns and fundamental forces, can be powerfully compared to Renaissance scientific discoveries. Think of Galileo's experiments with pendulums revealing uniform motion, or Johannes Kepler's laws of planetary motion describing how planets move. These discoveries blended art, science, and the unknown to reveal fundamental truths about the universe. It highlights how science, even in a magical world, is about uncovering the hidden elegance and order of creation, making Jasnah's quest a blend of rigorous inquiry and profound wonder. In the lesson, Shallan's art begins to reveal her burgeoning powers in a new way. Shallan's art, specifically her uncanny ability to draw from memory with incredible, almost photographic detail, her memory drawings, begins to reveal her burgeoning radiant powers. Specifically, it links to her ability to soulcast, transform objects, and to recall memories with perfect precision. This unique manifestation of her abilities hints at her radiant potential, while her intellectual and emotional bond with Jasnah grows stronger through shared knowledge and mutual respect. Her art isn't just a hobby or a talent. It's becoming a direct pathway to her true self and her magical abilities, a form of active meditation that unlocks her hidden potential.
Her artistic expression here, used as a means to explore deeper truths and maybe access power, it parallels important movements in art history, where art was seen as a way to understand the world.
Her artistic expression, used as a powerful means to explore deeper truth, manifest abilities, and reveal hidden aspects of reality, strongly parallels Renaissance painters who used creativity to explore the human condition and their understanding of the divine or natural world. It showcases art not merely as decoration, but as a path to power and self-discovery, where the act of creation itself unlocks latent abilities and a profound intuitive understanding of the world. For Shallan, drawing is magic in a way.
But then, burned into the skin, her past trauma resurfaces yet again. It's like a deep-seated wound that keeps reopening.
Her past trauma resurfaces yet again, manifesting in vivid, disturbing memories and deep-seated emotional wounds that constantly plague her, often triggered by stress or specific symbols. This persistent trauma relentlessly threatens her emotional stability and her mission, reminding us that even great magical power can't simply erase deep psychological scars. It's a constant, agonizing battle for her to keep her past from consuming her present and dictating her future. It creates a deeply human struggle within her fantastical journey, the fight against her own mind. This persistent, deeply personal trauma. It truly evokes psychological realism in literature, doesn't it? Like Dostoevsky.
It absolutely does. This persistent, deeply personal trauma evokes the psychological realism found in works of authors like Fyodor Dostoevsky, where characters are profoundly shaped by their past suffering and internal conflicts, grappling with the weight of memory and guilt. It adds a crucial layer of depth and vulnerability to Shallan, showing that even with immense magical potential, she is still deeply human, flawed, and grappling with the profound burdens of her history. And in Beggars and Barmaids, Shallan navigates Kharbranth's bustling social scene, using her wits to uncover deeper secrets.
Shallan skillfully navigates Kharbranth's bustling social scene. She ventures into its hidden alleys and less reputable establishments, moving with surprising ease between high society libraries and, well, beggar hangouts. Through this, she uncovers deeper secrets about Jasnah's research and the city's hidden networks, revealing that even a seemingly scholarly pursuit has a shadowy underbelly, and that knowledge comes from unexpected places. It showcases her resourcefulness, her quick wit, and her remarkable ability to adapt to different social environments, gathering crucial information in unconventional ways. She's quite the chameleon.
Okay, let's turn back to Dalinar again. In Darkness Unseen, he faces profound betrayal from trusted allies. That must hit hard.
This is a truly crushing blow for Dalinar. He faces profound betrayal from trusted allies within the Alethi High Princes, specifically High Prince Sadeas, an individual he believes shared his vision for unity and honor, or at least his strategic goals.
Sadeas, right. His supposed friend.
This directly tests his grand vision and his ability to trust, especially after the assassination of his brother, King Gavilar, which ignited the very war they are fighting. It's a stark, painful reminder that the greatest threats often come from within, rather than from external enemies, and that even noble intentions can be undermined by pure selfishness and ruthless ambition. This betrayal, from within his own trusted circle, powerfully evokes historical conspiracies.
It certainly does. This betrayal powerfully evokes historical conspiracies, like the gunpowder plot in England, where trusted figures plot against leadership for personal gain or perceived grievances. Or, again, the assassination of Julius Caesar by his own senators, including Brutus. It highlights the constant, insidious threat of internal dissent and the immense personal cost of political machinations, especially for leaders who try to inspire trust and unity in a fractured society. A light by which to see shows Dalinar's visions deepening even further, pushing him toward action more forcefully.
His visions become even more vivid, urgent, and detailed. They reveal even more about the Knights Radiant, their structure, their oaths, their ultimate purpose. These profound revelations continually urge him toward bold, definitive action for Roshar's future, reinforcing his belief that his increasingly unpopular path is the correct one, even if no one else can see it yet. The visions are no longer just passive experiences, they are a forceful, divine call to action, compelling him to make difficult and often unpopular choices for the greater good of Roshar.
These increasingly imperative visions, guiding a leader through a time of crisis, they parallel prophetic leaders who guided nations, like Moses.
They do, profoundly. These powerful visions echo prophetic leaders throughout history, like Moses, whose divine insights were believed to guide nations through times of crisis and fundamental change, laying down new laws and principles for their people. It emphasizes the profound weight of Dalinar's perceived destiny and the cosmic stakes of his decisions. He's not just receiving information, he feels like he's receiving a mandate, a moral imperative that transcends conventional politics and demands radical change. It solidifies his role as a true visionary, despite the skepticism and ridicule of his peers.
And in The Weeping, Dalinar reflects on his visions during that peaceful, rainy season, strengthening his resolve.
During the peaceful weeping season, that period of torrential rains that forces a natural truce in the war on the Shattered Plains, Dalinar reflects deeply and quietly on his visions. This quiet introspection strengthens his resolve amidst the chaos and political isolation. It reaffirms his unwavering commitment to his path and his new philosophy of unity and honor. It's a rare moment of calm before the storm, allowing him to solidify his beliefs and prepare for what's to come, reaffirming his spiritual and moral compass away from the battlefield noise. The Weeping as a time of temporary peace amidst a brutal war. It can be likened to important historical truces, can't it? Like the Christmas truce.
It can. The Weeping, a time of temporary peace amidst a brutal, prolonged war, can be powerfully likened to historical truces, such as the Christmas Truce of 1914 during World War I. Fighting temporarily ceased, allowing for moments of shared humanity and quiet reflection before renewed conflict. It provides a brief but vital respite for Dalinar to solidify his purpose and prepare for the renewed conflict ahead. It highlights the cyclical nature of war and peace and the enduring human need for respite, even if it's enforced by weather. Okay, another set of interludes now. I-7 to I-9, revealing darker secrets and continuing Scythe's torment. Let's start with I-7, Baxil. This introduces us to a more criminal element.
Right. Baxil is a street-level thief, and he operates under the employ of a mysterious, shadowy figure who seems connected to Shallan's family's situation back in Jah-Keved. This interlude reveals Roshar's seedy underbelly and hints at hidden powers manipulating events from the shadows far from the High Prince's courts and the ongoing war. It suggests that there are layers of intrigue and power structures, criminal and perhaps more sinister beyond what our main characters currently perceive, adding a layer of pervasive, unseen influence to the world. It complicates Shallan's backstory even further.
His role, operating outside official power structures, kind of evokes historical figures who navigated power from the fringes, like outlaws or spies.
It absolutely does. His role evokes historical figures like Robin Hood or other infamous outlaws who operated outside the official power structures, navigating society from the fringes. It demonstrates that power operates in many ways, not just through overt political authority, but through hidden networks, illicit means, and the manipulation of information. It adds a layer of gritty, street-level realism and conspiracy to the world building, showing that even the shadows hold immense power and can influence events far away.
Then interlude I-8, Jaranid, features another scholar, this time studying Sprenid behavior scientifically.
Jaranid is a fascinating scholar, an ardent who approaches the study of Spren behavior scientifically. She conducts methodical experiments and makes meticulous observations of these elusive spirits, trying to understand their triggers and classifications. This interlude significantly deepens Roshar's magical lore, adding a dimension of systematic inquiry and rational understanding to the fantastical elements. It shows that even magical phenomena can be subject to scientific method and understanding, bridging the gap between magic and reason, and highlighting Sanderson's meticulous approach to his magic systems. They aren't just random.
Her methodical research into what seems like a purely magical aspect of the world. It can certainly be compared to Enlightenment scientists who sought to catalog and understand the natural world, even things that seemed mysterious then.
It absolutely can. Her research powerfully parallels Enlightenment scientists like Isaac Newton, who sought to catalog and understand the natural world through rigorous observation, experimentation, and mathematical principles, even in an era when many phenomena were still attributed to divine intervention or superstition. It highlights a scientific, empirical approach to understanding Roshar's unique biology and magic, showing a world where even its most mystical elements can be analyzed, categorized, and potentially even harnessed through systematic study. And finally, for this section, Interlude I-9, Death Wears White, brings us back to Seth once again, and his missions continue.
Right. His assassinations continue and his torment escalates. What more do we learn here about the profound, sinister conspiracy driving his actions? He seems to be getting orders from someone new now.
Yes, C's assassinations continue relentlessly, each one further deepening his profound torment and highlighting his complete lack of agency. He's passed from master to master via his oath stone. This interlude provides further, more overt hints of a larger, more sinister conspiracy at play behind his actions, controlled by unseen masters who dictate his every move, using him to destabilize kingdoms across Roshar. The scale of the manipulation becomes chillingly clear, and the tragedy of Seth's existence intensifies as he is forced to be a tool of immense destruction, a puppet dancing to a malevolent tune he cannot hear. His role continues to evoke historical assassins, bound by dark duty, but the growing scale of the conspiracy adds an even deeper layer of tragic destiny, making him almost a force of nature, but a weeping one.
It does. His role continues to evoke historical assassins like the thugs of India, bound by ritual and duty. But the revelation of the larger conspiracy adds this new, chilling layer, emphasizing the tragic and inescapable nature of his servitude to a truly malevolent, far-reaching force. He is a tool, but a tool with a soul, and that soul is being incrementally crushed. It leaves you wondering if he can ever escape his bonds or find a way to reclaim his humanity, or if he's simply fated to be a weapon until his end. It's a powerful exploration of forced agency and the burden of unwanted power. Okay, we're moving into part 4 now, Storm's Illumination. This feels like where our character's powers and true purposes really begin to coalesce in dramatic fashion. Let's start with Shallan. In Shadesmar, she experiences this pivotal, accidental entry into a hidden realm. What is Shadesmar?
Shallan accidentally enters Shadesmar. It's a parallel realm, a cognitive realm, that serves as the cognitive reflection of Roshar's physical world. Think of it like a world made of thought and perception.
Wow.
This is a truly pivotal moment. Not only does it dramatically reveal her burgeoning radiant powers, specifically soul casting without a device, but it also exposes Roshar's hidden magical realms, which are vital to the world's cosmology and the true nature of its magic. It's a breathtaking, mind-bending glimpse into a dimension where ideas and intentions have physical form, where Spren are tangible beings made of glass beads. It completely alters her understanding of reality and the universe itself. This is a moment where the mystical suddenly becomes profoundly tangible and, frankly, terrifyingly real for her.
Shadesmar, as this hidden mirror-like realm, it strongly evokes mythological underworlds or spirit realms from various cultures, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Shadesmar evokes mythological underworlds or spirit realms. You could think of Hades in Greek mythology, or the underworlds of various indigenous cosmologies, realms where the veil between worlds is thin, places souls might travel. But here it's presented with a unique, vibrant Rosharan twist. It captivates your imagination with its sea of glass beads representing objects and those tangible Spren. It makes it both familiar in concept and utterly alien in execution. It's a creative reinterpretation of the concept of a parallel world, making it a place of both wonder and immense danger.
Then in Strawberry, Shallan's memories of her past deepen, and we see a direct connection being drawn between her trauma and her emerging powers. How does that work?
Her memories of her past, particularly her profound childhood trauma involving her parents and a shard blade, deepen significantly and painfully. Crucially, these memories are directly tied to her emerging powers, her ability to reproduce images perfectly with her memories, and her latent ability to soulcast. This suggests that her abilities are not just random gifts, but are profoundly shaped by her personal history and the emotional wounds she carries. Perhaps they're a way of processing or mastering her past, or even a direct consequence of the extreme stress she endured. Her power isn't just a force, it's a profound expression of her deepest inner turmoil and her subconscious desires for truth and control over her own narrative.
This explicit connection between deep-seated trauma and the manifestation of extraordinary abilities. It reflects a kind of psychological realism often found in literature, doesn't it? Even amidst the fantasy.
It does, powerfully. This connection between deep-seated trauma and the manifestation of extraordinary abilities reflects the psychological realism found in works of authors like Virginia Woolf, where characters' inner turmoil and complex psychological states profoundly influence their external manifestations and actions. It grounds her fantastical powers in a very human, very relatable struggle with the past, making her journey of self-discovery and self-acceptance all the more compelling and resonant. Her powers are literally born from her pain, which gives them immense weight. And in an Emerald Brome, Shallan finally uncovers the full extent of Jasnah's Voidbringer research. This is a discovery with huge cosmic implications.
Right, this is the moment she really gets it, isn't it? It dramatically deepens her understanding of the stakes and solidifies her bond with Jasnah.
Yes. It's a truly shocking and terrifying discovery for Shallan, as she fully grasps the scope of Jasnah's relentless research into the Voidbringers and the impending desolation, a prophesied cataclysm that could mean the end of humanity on Roshar. This shared, terrifying knowledge profoundly deepens their intellectual and emotional bond. It transforms their mentor-student relationship into a true partnership built on trust and a mutual understanding of an existential threat. It also dramatically increases Shallan's understanding of the cosmic stakes at play, shifting her focus completely from her personal family drama to the fate of the entire world. It gives her a far grander, if much more terrifying, purpose. Okay, let's turn to Kaladin in this part. Child of Tanavast reveals a deeply significant title for him, hinting at his true nature and destiny.
Yes, Syl calls him that, right? What does it mean?
Right. His powers grow exponentially in potency and controllability, almost effortlessly now. In a truly pivotal moment, Syl explicitly calls him a child of Tanavast. Now, Tanavast was the name of the vessel, the person who held the Shard of Honor, one of the two main divine entities associated with Roshar before his death.
Okay. So connected to a god.
Exactly. This explicitly hints at his grand prophesied destiny and his inherent connection to the world's fundamental divine magic. It confirms he is indeed a burgeoning Knight Radiant, a reincarnation, in spirit at least, of a legendary order sworn to honor. It's a moment of profound revelation, not just for Kaladin, but for the reader, placing him firmly within the highest echelons of Roshar's cosmology. He's not just special, he's cosmically significant.
His destiny here, and the title he's given, it parallels classic chosen heroes throughout mythology and literature, doesn't it? Like King Arthur.
It absolutely does. His destiny parallels classic chosen heroes, like King Arthur, who are destined for greatness and a crucial role in the fate of their people, often through a blend of inherent power, moral fortitude, and a connection to a higher purpose or divine artifact. It adds a powerful layer of mythic resonance to Kaladin's journey, suggesting his path is not just personal, but part of a larger ancient prophecy that he is unknowingly fulfilling, elevating him to a legendary status, at least in potential.
Storm Blessings shows Kaladin using Stormlight openly now, solidifying his leadership and amazing everyone.
Kaladin's open and dramatic use of Stormlight saves Bridge 4 in a direct confrontation with Parshendi archers during a bridge run. This unequivocally solidifies his leadership and demonstrates the raw power of his abilities to his men, and crucially, to himself. This is no longer subtle experimentation. It's a full, dramatic display of his power, lashing himself sideways, healing instantly that cements his place as their protector and leader. It transforms him into a legendary figure in their eyes. It's a public confirmation of his powers, changing the perception of him from a mere slave to something far more significant, perhaps even divine, a true protector figure. His heroism here against overwhelming odds saving his men. It powerfully mirrors historical last stands where a small group defies a much larger force.
His heroism here powerfully mirrors historical last stands, like the Battle of Thermopylae, where a small group of Spartan warriors defied overwhelming odds through sheer will and brilliant, self-sacrificing leadership against the Persian army. Kaladin's actions, saving his men against impossible circumstances, elevate him beyond a simple soldier to a true, inspiring hero, proving that courage and ingenuity can triumph against overwhelming force, even when you're supposed to be cannon fodder. In Two Care, Kaladin's profound care for Bridge 4 drives him to risk everything he has for them. It really highlights his core motivation.
His profound, unwavering care for Bridge 4, which is such a stark contrast to the Alethi High Princes who treat bridge crews as utterly expendable resources, drives him to risk everything he has, his life, his potential freedom, his sanity. This self-sacrificing leadership cements their unbreakable bond and earns them their absolute, unwavering loyalty. He's chosen them as his family, and he will protect them at all costs. It embodies the very essence of true leadership, prioritizing the well-being of those you lead above all else, even your own survival.
His sacrifice, prioritizing the well-being of his people above himself, it parallels historical leaders who put their followers first, like maybe Leonidas at Thermopylae again.
It does. His sacrifice parallels leaders like Leonidas, the Spartan king, who led his small force to their deaths at Thermopylae to protect his homeland and buy time for the rest of Greece. It highlights the deep emotional core of Kaladin's leadership, showing that his power isn't just stormlight, it's rooted in his compassion and his fierce desire to protect the vulnerable. That makes him a leader worthy of absolute devotion from his men.
Backbreaker is a truly catastrophic bridge run that pushes Kaladin to his absolute limits, leading to a thrilling climax where his powers fully manifest.
This chapter depicts a truly catastrophic bridge run, where Kaladin's crew faces near certain annihilation due to Siddeus's likely betrayal, leaving them stranded. But in a thrilling and miraculous climax, his fully activated powers, now truly under his conscious control, save them. He uses his lashings to manipulate gravity, allowing them to survive. It defies all expectations and sets up a monumental turning point in the war. It's a moment of unparalleled heroism where his abilities manifest at their most powerful, turning what should have been a devastating defeat into a miraculous survival, changing the tide of the entire conflict on the shattered plains, at least psychologically. This bridge run, where heroism and clever tactics turn the tide against impossible odds, it echoes epic historical battles like Agincourt, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. This bridge run powerfully echoes epic historical battles like Agincourt, where a smaller, outmatched English force achieved a decisive victory against the French through ingenuity, discipline, and sheer heroism against seemingly impossible odds. It's a testament to how individual courage and clever tactics can turn the tide of even the most overwhelming conflicts, making for a truly cinematic and unforgettable moment in the book. But then in Dunny, Kaladin mourns a fallen crew member. It's a poignant moment showing the cost.
Kaladin mourns a fallen crew member, Dunny, who dies not in battle but from a wound infection afterwards. It's a poignant and deeply emotional moment that powerfully deepens his resolve to protect Bridge 4 at all costs. This loss isn't just a plot point. It's a personal blow that reminds him of the brutal human cost of the war, even after the fighting stops, and strengthens his commitment to preventing further casualties among his chosen family. Each death reinforces his purpose and fuels his determination to fight for a better future for those who remain. He failed to save Dunny, and it hits him hard. The raw emotion of this loss, the grief of soldier deaths, it powerfully parallels the realities of historical wars.
It absolutely does. The raw, visceral emotion of this loss powerfully parallels the grief and trauma of soldier deaths in historical wars, like the Battle of the Somme in World War I, where commanders and comrades grappled with the immense human cost of conflict and the profound bonds formed in combat. It grounds the fantastical conflict in a deeply human, emotional reality, showing that even in a world of magic and monsters, the pain of loss is universal and devastating.
Then in another pivotal moment, in an Emerald Brome, that chapter title again, Kaladin uses Stormlight openly, saving Breach 4 right in front of everyone. Kaladin uses Stormlight openly and dramatically in plain sight, demonstrating his full capabilities as a Radiant during a key battle. He saves Bridge 4 from a crushing attack, completely baffling the High Princes and their armies, who witness his incredible feats like deflecting arrows and lashing enemies firsthand. This public display leaves no doubt about his radiant nature, changing the perception of him from a mere slave to something far more significant, perhaps even divine, a true legend in the making. It's a moment of undeniable power and proof that can't be ignored.
His power is now openly displayed, wielding these divine-seeming gifts for protection. It can be powerfully compared to mythic heroes like Perseus, right? Using God-given tools.
They can. His power is now openly displayed, wielding what appear to be divine gifts to protect the innocent and overcome monstrous foes, can be powerfully compared to mythic heroes like Perseus, who wielded Medusa's head or winged sandals given to him by the gods. It firmly solidifies Kaladin's role as a chosen hero, operating with abilities far beyond mortal men, fulfilling ancient prophecies, and inspiring awe and hope in those who witness him, even if they also fear him.
Wandersail features Wit, that mysterious figure telling Kaladin a profound allegorical story. What's the significance of that?
Wit, who we know as Hoid, this mysterious, enigmatic, and seemingly omniscient figure tells Kaladin a profound allegorical story called Wandersail. It's about purpose, suffering, and a man's impossible journey across a vast ocean. This tale offers philosophical insight into Kaladin's struggles and destiny, subtly guiding him towards accepting his role, finding meaning in his suffering, and understanding his place in the larger narrative. It's a moment of quiet, powerful wisdom amidst the chaos, delivered by a character who seems to know far more than he lets on, and who uses story itself as a form of powerful intervention or guidance.
Wit's tale, blending wisdom and narrative to guide, it mirrors ancient bards and storytellers like Homer, doesn't it? Using stories to teach.
It absolutely does. Wit's tale powerfully mirrors ancient bards like Homer, who blended wisdom, allegory, and narrative to guide and inspire heroes and convey profound truths about life, fate, and purpose. It's a meta-narrative layer, reminding us that stories themselves hold immense power, can shape destinies, and offer guidance even in the darkest of times. It makes Wit not just a storyteller, but perhaps a weaver of destinies through narrative itself.
Okay, now to Dalinar in this climactic part 4. Sasnan reveals that profound and shocking betrayal within his inner circle by Sadeas.
Dalinar uncovers the full extent of the traitorous actions by High Prince Sadeas, abandoning Dalinar and his army on the Tower Plateau after a joint assault. It's a profound and shocking betrayal that directly tests Dalinar's trust and profoundly challenges his leadership at its core. This isn't just political maneuvering. It's a deeply personal blow that forces him to confront the dark side of his own people and the immense difficulty of his unifying mission. It's a stark reminder that the greatest threats often come from within, this internal betrayal from trusted figures, someone you considered a friend. It strongly evokes historical conspiracies like Brutus and Caesar.
It powerfully does. This mirrors historical conspiracies like the gunpowder plot in England, where trusted figures plot against leadership, or, again, the assassination of Julius Caesar by his own senators, including his friend Brutus. It highlights the constant insidious threat of internal dissent and the immense personal cost of political machinations, especially for leaders who try to inspire trust and unity in a fractured society. The pain of betrayal from a friend is immense. In A Highway to the Sun, Dalinar's visions vehemently urge a final, bold push for unity despite this betrayal and immense risk.
Dalinar's visions become even more urgent and vehement after the betrayal. They explicitly urge a final, bold push for unity among the remaining Alethi high princes, despite the growing opposition and immense personal risk to his reputation and even his life. The visions are no longer just passive experiences. They are a forceful, undeniable call to action, compelling him to make difficult and unpopular choices for the greater good of Roshar. They are a divine imperative, pushing him towards a destiny he can no longer deny, even if it means forgiving or working with flawed people. His push to unite disparate groups under a common difficult cause, especially after being betrayed, can be powerfully compared to leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, maybe, uniting India.
It certainly can. His push can be powerfully compared to leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, who united disparate groups under a common, seemingly impossible cause through unwavering vision, moral conviction, and incredible personal sacrifice against colonial rule. It highlights the immense transformative power of a unified movement, even against overwhelming odds and entrenched opposition, proving that moral strength can move mountains, or at least high princes. In gibbets and crowds, Dalinar faces severe public scrutiny and opposition for his actions and beliefs.
Dalinar faces severe public scrutiny and opposition from both the high princes and the common soldiers due to his unconventional beliefs, his increasingly public mad visions, and his radical calls for unity and adherence to the codes. He's ridiculed and isolated, seen as weak or naive, yet his visions continue to compel him to act boldly, regardless of popular opinion or political backlash. He knows instinctively he's doing what's right, even if it isolates him further and threatens his standing. He's willing to sacrifice popularity for purpose and honor. His scrutiny, facing immense opposition but holding firm to his convictions. It powerfully mirrors historical leaders who challenge the norm, like Martin Luther.
It does. His scrutiny powerfully mirrors leaders like Martin Luther, who faced immense opposition from established powers like the Catholic Church, and public condemnation for his revolutionary ideas, but held firm to his convictions, ultimately sparking a monumental shift in history. It highlights the courage required to stand for what you believe in when the world seems to be against you, and when your path is unpopular but necessary. That storming book reveals a pivotal discovery for Dalinar himself, the book The Way of Kings.
Dalinar discovers the Way of Kings book itself, an ancient text left by his brother Gavilar that he begins to read. He becomes captivated by its wisdom on leadership, honor, and the Knights Radiant. This is a monumental, pivotal moment that profoundly shapes his philosophy, his understanding of true leadership, and his approach to governance. The book becomes a deeply personal guide, reinforcing his visions and providing him with the intellectual and philosophical framework to justify his radical ideas. It gives him confidence in his madness, showing it aligns with ancient wisdom. The book's profound influence on Dalinar shaping his leadership. It can be powerfully compared to foundational texts shaping historical figures, like the Republic or the Art of War.
It powerfully can. The book's profound influence on Dalinar can be powerfully compared to foundational texts like Plato's The Republic or Sun Tzu's The Art of War, which have shaped leaders and their understanding of governance, morality, and strategy for centuries. It demonstrates the enduring power of ideas and philosophy to guide and transform individuals, and through them, nations. It proves that wisdom from the past can illuminate the path forward, even a path revealed by potentially mad visions. Finally, for the section, In the Journey, Dalinar commits fully to his vision, preparing for a climactic stand, consequences be damned.
Dalinar commits fully and unequivocally to his grand vision of Alethi unity, understanding that this climactic stand, likely confronting Sadeas or forcing a choice among the high princes, will determine the very fate of his kingdom and potentially all of Roshar. He is willing to risk everything, his reputation, his life, his legacy, his family, for the unity of Alethkar and the protection of its people according to the principles he now holds dear. There's no turning back for him now. His path is set, and he will face whatever comes, embodying a leader's ultimate sacrifice and conviction. His unwavering commitment risking all for the unity and future of a nation. It powerfully parallels historical leaders like George Washington during the Revolution.
It absolutely does. His unwavering commitment powerfully parallels leaders like George Washington, risking all for the unity and future of a fledgling nation during the American Revolution, facing internal dissent and a powerful external enemy. It's a powerful portrayal of a leader fully embracing their destiny, willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for a cause greater than themselves, demonstrating the profound weight and responsibility of true leadership driven by principle. Okay, the final set of interludes, I-10 to I-12, giving us glimpses of the grand conspiracy and adding more nuance before the finale. I-10 brings us back to Szeth.
Right. Szeth's torment deepens even further as he receives new, increasingly horrific assassination orders from his unseen masters, who are now revealed to be using him quite strategically to destabilize the world. This interlude hints more overtly at a larger, more sinister conspiracy at play behind the scenes, revealing that Szeth is a key piece in a truly grand, malicious game that spans kingdoms and affects the very fate of Roshar. His despair is almost palpable as he continues to be this reluctant, suffering instrument of immense destruction, his soul slowly eroding with each forced act of violence.
His role continues to mirror historical assassins, but the scale of the conspiracy behind him is now clearly growing, suggesting something bigger than just political maneuvering.
It does. His role continues to mirror historical assassins, like the Order of Assassins, bound by their dark duty. But the revelation of the larger, unseen conspiracy adds this chilling new layer, emphasizing the tragic and inescapable nature of his servitude to a truly malevolent, far-reaching force. He's a tool, but a tool with a soul. And that soul is being incrementally crushed. It leaves you wondering if he can ever escape his bonds or find a way to reclaim his humanity, or if he is simply fated to be a weapon until his end, serving unknown, terrible masters.
Interlude I-11, New Rhythms, shifts our perspective dramatically to a Parshendi named Eshonai. This adds crucial nuance to the war, doesn't it? Seeing the enemy.
This is a truly crucial interlude for understanding the broader conflict. It allows us to explore the Parshendi's culture, their unique connection to rhythms, and their internal struggles from their own perspective, through Eshonai, one of their leaders. It adds critical depth and complexity to the ongoing war. We learn that they are not just monstrous enemies, but a people with their own rich history, unique culture, and profound internal debates about their future, their transformation into new forms, and their relationship with the Alethi and the assassination of Gavilar. It profoundly humanizes the enemy in a way that challenges simplistic portrayals of the conflict.
Her perspective here, humanizing the other, powerfully parallels indigenous voices in colonial histories, offering a counter-narrative.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Her perspective powerfully parallels indigenous voices in colonial histories, offering a vital counter-narrative to the dominant historical account, which in the book is mostly Alethi, and enriching the understanding of the opposing side. It moves beyond simplistic black and white morality, revealing the profound nuances of their motivations, their fears, like losing their identity to new forms, and the tragic consequences of miscommunication and misunderstanding between two peoples. It's a powerful reminder that every conflict has multiple truths, and understanding all perspectives is essential for true insight. Finally, Interlude the First 12 introduces us properly to King Caravangian of Kharbranth. His secret schemes profoundly highlight moral ambiguity.
Right, and his secret cunning schemes are revealed here, showing a truly Machiavellian pragmatism. It's unsettling.
Yes, this is a truly shocking and unsettling revelation. King Caravangian's secret, cunning schemes are laid bare. We learn about his diagram, a blueprint for saving the world, created on a day of supposed genius-level intellect, and his pact with the Night Watcher that causes his intelligence and compassion to fluctuate daily.
Fluctuate.
Yeah, some days he's brilliant but ruthless, other days he's compassionate but simplistic. He's actively seeking to predict and prepare for a future desolation by engineering this system, believing that only through this radical, often cruel method can he save humanity. His actions, like orchestrating assassinations via Szeth, are deeply morally dubious but driven by what he believes is the ultimate necessity for humanity's survival based on his diagram. He's a truly great character, where the ends might justify the means, creating profound ethical dilemmas for the reader. Is calculated evil acceptable for the greater good? His intricate schemes, prioritizing the perceived greater good above all else, sometimes brutally, They powerfully mirror historical pragmatic rulers, or at least the philosophy behind them.
They certainly do. His intricate schemes powerfully mirror historical pragmatic rulers, like those described by Niccolò Machiavelli in The Prince, for whom the end justifies the means, regardless of the ethical cost or the suffering inflicted. It adds a crucial layer of ethical complexity to the political landscape of Roshar, forcing the reader to question what truly constitutes a good or necessary leader in a world facing existential threats. He's playing a very dangerous, high-stakes game, and the moral compass spins wildly in his presence. He might be a monster, or he might be the only one who truly understands what needs to be done. Okay, we've reached part 5, Silence Above, the climactic section where all the threads converge and our characters face their defining moments. Let's start with Kaladin. In an honor, he's training Bridge 4 for that daring, almost impossible escape.
Kaladin fully embraces his leadership role and his nascent radiant powers now. He's dedicating himself to training Bridge 4 for this daring and incredibly risky escape from the Shattered Plains war camps. He's no longer just trying to survive day to day. He's actively planning a systematic breakout, demonstrating his unwavering commitment to their freedom and his growing confidence in his own extraordinary abilities. This is the culmination of his journey from a broken slave to an inspiring, purposeful leader, ready to defy the entire Alethi system that has held them captive.
This planned escape, this desperate bid for freedom against such an oppressive force, it powerfully evokes historical rebellions like slave revolts.
It powerfully does. This planned escape evokes historical rebellions, like the slave revolts led by Spartacus against the mighty Roman Republic. It emphasizes the high stakes of defying an oppressive system and fighting for freedom against overwhelming odds, even when success seems utterly impossible. It's a powerful narrative of insurgency, courage, and the indomitable spirit of those who refuse to be enslaved, showcasing the profound human desire for liberty and self-determination.
In 3 Glyphs, Kaladin's crew actually executes their escape, and his powers truly shine in a spectacular way.
His crew executes their perilous escape from the Shattered Plains war camps. It's a thrilling and high-stakes sequence where Kaladin's full Stormlight powers dramatically save them from certain doom multiple times. He's lashing them across chasms, fighting off pursuers. This showcases his completed transformation into a true Knight Radiant, capable of incredible feats that defy the laws of their world, manipulating gravity and healing with godlike speed. It's a moment of triumph and liberation, not just for him, but for every member of Bridge 4, as they finally break free from their chains, at least temporarily.
The thrilling execution of this escape against overwhelming odds in pursuit, it powerfully mirrors historical breakouts like the Great Escape.
It absolutely does. The thrilling execution of the escape powerfully mirrors historical breakouts, such as the Great Escape by Allied prisoners of war from Stalag Luce III in World War II. It's filled with tension, daring, and incredible heroism against overwhelming forces and meticulously planned obstacles. It's a moment of sheer excitement and a true testament to the power of a unified, disciplined team led by an extraordinary individual, demonstrating that freedom can be won even from the most desperate circumstances.
The Tower brings Kaladin and Dalinar together unexpectedly in that climactic, desperate battle where Dalinar was betrayed.
Kaladin and Bridge 4, having escaped, see Dalinar's banners stranded on the Tower Plateau, abandoned by Sadeas. In a pivotal moment, Kaladin chooses to go back to save Dalinar's army. He and Dalinar finally unite in this climactic battle at the Tower, a central Parshendi stronghold. This is where Kaladin's powers shine brightest as he fights alongside Dalinar's forces, forming an unlikely but incredibly powerful alliance. It's a true moment of combined heroism, where their different strengths and philosophies complement each other in the face of immense danger. The future of the Alethi and their war hangs in the balance, and these two broken heroes, the slave soldier and the honorable high prince, are all that stand against the tide. This battle, a desperate stand against overwhelming odds after a betrayal. It powerfully parallels epic historical stands like Helm's Deep, or maybe even Stalingrad.
It powerfully does. This battle powerfully parallels epic historical stands like Helm's Deep from The Lord of the Rings, or the Battle of Stalingrad in World War II, where defiance in the face of overwhelming odds defined heroism, and where desperate last stands turn the tide of war against seemingly insurmountable forces. It's a visceral, high-stakes confrontation that showcases the raw power and tactical brilliance of Sanderson's action sequences, making for an unforgettable climax to the book's main conflict. And then, in words, Kaladin speaks the first radiant oaths. This is a defining moment for him, isn't it?
This is perhaps the single most defining moment of Kaladin's arc in this book. He speaks the first ideal of the Knights Radiant, life before death,
strength before weakness, journey before destination. And likely the second ideal of the Windrunners, I will protect those who cannot protect themselves. He consciously embraces his powers, swearing allegiance to the ancient ideals and officially binding himself to Syl as his spren. This act not only completes his transformation, but also dramatically saves Dalinar's army and Bridge 4, as his newfound power protects them from the Parshendi assault. It's a deeply emotional and triumphant moment, signifying his full acceptance of his destiny as a Knight Radiant and his profound responsibility to protect, completing his journey from despair to purpose.
His transformation here, stepping into his destiny, speaking those words, it powerfully evokes mythic heroes rising to their fated roles, like accepting a sacred sword or duty.
It absolutely does. His transformation powerfully evokes mythic heroes like Beowulf rising to their destiny, fulfilling prophecies and inspiring awe through their incredible deeds and unwavering commitment to their people. It's the heroic apotheosis of his journey, demonstrating the profound power of purpose, dedication, and self-sacrifice in unlocking one's true potential and embracing a fated role in the world's salvation. He accepts who he is.
Trust shows Kaladin fully earning Bridge 4's unwavering trust, completing his arc as their leader.
Kaladin fully earns Bridge 4's absolute unwavering trust. They see him not just as a leader who saved them, but as a Radiant, a legend reborn. This cements his emotional and narrative arc as both a powerful Radiant and an inspiring, deeply compassionate leader. Their loyalty is absolute and unbreakable, forged in shared suffering, reinforced by his consistent self-sacrifice, and cemented by his unwavering care for their well-being. This is the solid foundation upon which he will build his future as a hero, a testament to the power of earned respect and loyalty. He's not just their commander, he's their brother, their savior. His leadership, building such unwavering loyalty through shared trials and genuine care, it powerfully mirrors historical figures who inspired deep devotion, maybe like Admiral Nelson.
It powerfully does. His leadership powerfully mirrors historical figures like Admiral Horatio Nelson, who built unwavering loyalty among his naval crews through shared trials, brilliant leadership, and unwavering care for his subordinates, creating the famous Band of Brothers. It's a powerful testament to the bonds forged in combat and the transformative power of a leader who genuinely prioritizes their people, making them feel seen and valued even in the direst circumstances.
Okay, now for Shallan's climax. In Right for Wrong, she confronts her traumatic past head-on. This feels like her equivalent of Kaladin speaking the oaths. Shallan confronts her traumatic past head-on. She faces the darkest secrets of her family. Specifically, the truth about her father's death and her own role in it, involving a shard blade, which have haunted her for years, causing her mental blocks and repressed memories. This act of honesty and profound self-acceptance is pivotal. It allows her to embrace her radiant powers fully and truly understand them, breaking through her previous limitations. It's a moment of profound psychological liberation as she steps into her true self by confronting the painful truths she's long hidden, transforming her past into a source of strength, not just suffering. She accepts the darkness within her.
Her confrontation here, this moment of profound, painful truth leading to power, it powerfully parallels confessional moments in literature, doesn't it? Like Augustine.
It powerfully does. Her confrontation powerfully parallels confessional moments in literature, like those found in Augustine's Confessions, where acknowledging truth, even ugly truth, leads to liberation and power through self-knowledge. It's a powerful reminder that self-acceptance and honesty, even about painful truths, are essential for true growth and unlocking one's full potential, showing that inner peace, or at least acceptance, can be a source of immense power. Sea of Glass shows Shallan fully embracing her radiant powers now, including her unique soul-casting abilities, putting them to use. Shallan fully embraces her radiant powers, including her unique soul-casting abilities, the power to transform matter, like turning blood into water, and her light weaving, the power to create illusions. She resolves her arc for this book with a newfound sense of truth and profound personal strength, using her powers to help escape danger. She understands her abilities and herself in a deeper way, finding purpose not just in imitation or deception, like trying to steal the soulcaster, but in genuine creation, understanding, and self-expression. This is a moment of profound personal triumph and self-actualization, as she fully steps into her identity as a Knight Radiant of the Lightweavers.
Her journey here, finding her true purpose and power through profound personal conviction and accepting her past, it parallels heroines throughout history or fiction who embrace their destiny.
Her journey powerfully parallels heroines like Joan of Arc, who found their true purpose and power through profound personal conviction, inner vision, and a willingness to embrace their unique destiny, often defying expectations. It's a powerful narrative of self-discovery and empowerment, showing how inner strength and acceptance can manifest in extraordinary, world-changing ways, making her a formidable figure moving forward.
And then in Ghostbloods, Shallan uncovers something truly intriguing, tying her arc to a larger, shadowy conspiracy, much like Steth's situation hints at.
Shallan uncovers the mysterious Ghostbloods, this shadowy, conspiratorial organization operating across Roshar. They seem interested in her, Jasnah, and the secrets they hold. This explicitly ties her arc to larger, secretive conspiracies operating in the background of the main narrative, suggesting that powerful, hidden forces are manipulating events on a global scale, perhaps connected to the Parshendi or even darker things. It's a chilling revelation that opens up a whole new layer of intrigue for the series, revealing that the true enemies might not be the ones on the battlefield, but those pulling strings from the shadows.
The Ghostbloods, as a secret, influential society pulling strings, they powerfully evoke real-world conspiracy theories or historical secret societies like the Illuminati.
They powerfully do. The Ghostbloods powerfully evoke real-world secret societies like the Illuminati or other historical clandestine groups known for their hidden influence and control, adding a layer of pervasive, hidden intrigue and manipulation to the unfolding narrative. It suggests that even the most visible conflicts might be mere pawns in a much larger unseen game, raising profound questions about who truly holds power in Roshar and what their ultimate agenda might be. It adds that thriller element.
Okay, let's turn to Dalinar for his final defining developments in this climactic Part 5. That which we cannot have shows him making that profound sacrifice of power for honor, giving up his shard blade.
Dalinar makes a profound, symbolic sacrifice of personal power for honor and the greater good. He publicly trades his shard blade, Oathbringer, arguably the most valuable object on Roshar, to High Prince Sadeas in exchange for the lives of all the bridgemen Sadeas owned, including Bridge 4.
Wow, that's huge.
This unprecedented act explicitly aligns his actions with his vision's call for unity and demonstrates his unwavering commitment to his new philosophy of honor above all else. It's a defining moment where his principles profoundly outweigh personal gain or the pursuit of power, solidifying his role as a new kind of leader, one who leads by example and sacrifice, valuing lives over priceless artifacts.
His sacrifice, prioritizing principle and moral conviction over immense personal power and wealth, it powerfully mirrors leaders like Gandhi again, choosing the moral path.
It powerfully does. His sacrifice powerfully mirrors leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, who prioritize principle and moral conviction over personal gain or political power, defining their legacy through acts of profound selflessness and leading by moral authority. It demonstrates that true power sometimes lies not in accumulating it, but in willingly relinquishing it for a greater cause, inspiring others through integrity and changing the rules of the game. In Fear, Dalinar faces the final devastating betrayal from Sadeas, testing him to his absolute limits even after the shard blade trade.
This betrayal, Sadeas basically laughing in his face after getting the blade, it evokes historical conspiracies of immense personal cost, the ultimate cynical move.
It powerfully does. This betrayal evokes historical conspiracies, such as that of Brutus and Caesar, where a trusted confidant turns against a powerful leader, resulting in immense personal and political upheaval. It highlights the deep personal cost of political machinations and the constant threat of internal dissent, even when one is trying to do good. Sadeas' gleeful cruelty shows the depth of his cynicism, and Dalinar's naivete, perhaps. It shows that the most painful wounds often come from those closest to you, or those you tried to trust. A man of extremes contrasts Dalinar's brutal past as the Blackthorn with his current unwavering commitment to honor. It really highlights his transformation. Dalinar's brutal past as a warlord, legendary Blackthorn, known for his ruthlessness, violence, and singular focus on conquest, is directly contrasted with his current unwavering commitment to honor, unity, and moral leadership. This profoundly deepens his character, showing incredible growth and a deliberate, painful choice to transform himself. He's not simply a hero. He's a redeemed man, struggling against his own dark history and the violent impulses of his past, striving to be better than he was, even if others only see the Blackthorn still.
His complex character arc, evolving from a fearsome warrior to a wise and honorable ruler. It powerfully mirrors historical leaders like maybe Henry V.
It powerfully does. His complex character arc powerfully mirrors leaders like Henry V of England, as depicted by Shakespeare perhaps, who evolved from a fearsome warrior and rebellious prince into a wise, honorable, and unifying ruler.
It's a powerful narrative of redemption and profound transformation, showing that even those with a violent past can choose a different, more honorable path, and that true leadership often involves a journey of self-improvement and moral growth.
In Codes, Dalinar's strict adherence to his honor codes actually saves lives in the climactic battle at the Tower. It proves his way works.
Dalinar's strict adherence to his newly adopted honor codes, the Codes of War, proves instrumental and profoundly saves lives in the climactic battle at the Tower. His disciplined formations and focus on protecting his men, even at tactical disadvantage sometimes, contrast sharply with the chaos elsewhere and ultimately prove more effective. This solidifies his unique leadership style and philosophy, proving that honor and discipline, when truly embraced, can be more effective than brute force or selfish ambition. It's a practical, undeniable demonstration of his principles in action, showing their real-world, life-saving impact and inspiring his followers to a higher standard.
His codes and their impact. They powerfully mirror chivalric ideals and their influence on conduct, even in war, like the Knights Templar, maybe?
They powerfully do. His codes powerfully mirror chivalric ideals, like those of the Knights Templar or other medieval knightly orders, emphasizing the power of integrity, ethical conduct, and principled action, even in the midst of brutal warfare. It's a powerful statement about the enduring value of honor in a world that often seems to disregard it, showing that adhering to a moral code can lead to practical advantages and inspire profound loyalty. It's not just sentimentality, it's effective strategy.
Justice shows Dalinar confronting the betrayal directly and decisively, dealing with Sadeas.
Dalinar confronts Sadeas directly and decisively after the battle, exposing his betrayal publicly, but ultimately choosing not to kill him, instead opting for a political solution, marginalizing him. He holds Sadeas accountable, and in doing so solidifies his role as the unifying leader for Alethkar's future. He doesn't shy away from the difficult truth, and his unwavering commitment to justice, tempered with pragmatism, reestablishes his authority and respect among those who remain loyal. It's a moment of clear moral leadership in a time of profound crisis, proving his resolve and his ability to mete out justice firmly, but perhaps surprisingly, not vengefully. His leadership here during a profound national crisis, navigating betrayal and justice, it powerfully mirrors historical figures like Abraham Lincoln again, maybe dealing with problematic generals.
It powerfully does. His leadership here powerfully mirrors Abraham Lincoln during profound national crises, where clear moral stands, unwavering resolve, and a commitment to justice defined true leadership and guided a nation through its darkest hours. It shows that decisive action, rooted in strong principles but also political savvy, is essential for a leader to inspire trust and unity, even when faced with overwhelming internal strife. And finally, in the top room brings Dalinar's final monumental vision in the book, meeting the Stormfather.
Dalinar's final monumental vision reveals the Stormfather, the immense sentient spren of the high storms, a manifestation of the shattered Shard of Honor itself, and an ancient, powerful entity. This is a truly monumental moment, confirming his connection to the divine, accepting Honor's Shardblade Oathbringer from the Stormfather, and setting up future cosmological stakes for the entire series. It's a truly epic encounter that signifies his destiny is tied to the very essence of Roshar, revealing the profound spiritual forces at play in his world and confirming his path. He is bonded to the Stormfather now.
The Stormfather, as this guiding, ancient, powerful, almost mythic deity. It powerfully evokes ancient mythic gods who interact with heroes, like Zeus or Odin.
The Stormfather powerfully evokes mythic gods, like Zeus or Odin, who guide, challenge, and interact directly with heroes, establishing the truly epic scale of the series and the profound supernatural forces at play. It's a powerful revelation that elevates Dalinar's journey from a personal quest for honor to a cosmic one, tying his fate directly to the fate of the entire world and the legacy of a dead god, suggesting a grand, divine purpose for his actions. #tag wider perspectives and the lingering questions. We also get a final perspective from Eshonai in Chapter 68, offering profound insight into the Parshendi motivations after the battle.
Right, and her perspective here truly reveals the Parshendi's complex motives and culture, adding crucial depth to the ongoing war, even showing their own losses and fears.
It profoundly does. Eshonai's perspective reveals the Parshendi's complex motives and rich culture. It shows their own internal conflicts about adopting new powerful forms, like storm form, which might save them, but could also cost them their identity. Their actions in the war are not simple villainy, but are driven by their own deep-seated fears, ancient traditions, and profound internal debates. This adds crucial depth and nuance to the ongoing war, powerfully challenging simplistic portrayals of conflict and highlighting the tragedy of miscommunication and the desperate measures people take for survival. Her viewpoint, humanizing the other and challenging dominant narratives even at the end. It powerfully parallels indigenous perspectives in colonial conflicts.
It powerfully parallels indigenous voices in colonial histories, offering a vital counter-narrative to the dominant historical account and enriching the understanding of the opposing side. It's a powerful reminder that every conflict has multiple truths, and understanding all perspectives, especially those of the marginalized or the enemy, is essential for true insight and a comprehensive understanding of historical events. It makes the conflict feel far more tragic and complex, not just a simple good versus evil fight. Then, Recorded in Blood brings us back to Seth for his final, tragic mission in the book, setting up the future.
Seth's final mission for the book is revealed. He's sent to assassinate King Taravangian, the very man who seems to have been manipulating him all along, though Seth doesn't know it. This continues his tragic path as an unwilling assassin, forced to commit yet another atrocity. This chapter sets up future conflicts involving his shadowy masters and deepens his personal tragedy, leaving you wondering about his ultimate fate and whether he will ever find freedom from his terrible binding. He's left as a loose end, a ticking time bomb, a character whose suffering is far from over and whose continued existence promises more profound, heartbreaking conflict. And finally, Vera's Italian gives us more of Jasnah's ongoing crucial research, tying things together. Jasnah's ongoing relentless research into Voidbringers, the fundamental nature of Spren, the Parshman, and the core forces of Roshar meticulously ties together many of the story's threads. She's essentially becoming a Vera's Italian, a historian seeking truth. It hints at profound cosmological stakes that underpin the entire world, suggesting that the war on the Shattered Plains is merely a symptom of a much larger, more ancient, and truly existential conflict involving the return of ancient powers and perhaps the gods themselves. Her intellectual quest for understanding is truly a quest for the ultimate truth of their reality, revealing the grand, terrifying scale of the challenges ahead for everyone.
So, wow. As we emerge from this deep dive into the Way of Kings, what truly stands out, I think, is not just the incredible world building or the super intricate magic system, but the profound human journeys of Kaladin, Shallan, and Dalinar. Each one battling their own demons, searching for purpose, confronting their past in really painful ways, and ultimately finding their place or starting to, in a world teetering on the brink of another desolation. It's really just a masterclass in character-driven epic fantasy.
Indeed. I mean, we've seen how Sanderson masterfully weaves deeply personal trauma with grand prophecy, how intricate political intrigue clashes with ancient awakening magic, and how universal themes of leadership, profound betrayal, and the very nature of honor resonate through every single chapter or every character struggle.
Yeah.
From the fallen heralds abandoning their posts in the Prelude to the rise of new radiants like Kaladin and Shallan at the end. This book lays an incredibly rich, compelling foundation. It draws on universal human experiences and compelling archetypes to create something wholly original, yet deeply familiar and resonant.
And the relevance for you, our listener, really lies in how these characters, much like us, grapple with overwhelming information, with impossible situations, make incredibly hard choices, and somehow find resilience and purpose, even when all hope seems completely lost.
Right.
It's a powerful reminder, I think, that even in the face of cosmic conflicts or profound personal despair, the strength of human connection, the courage to confront truth, both internal and external, and adherence to one's own way of kings, one's own moral conscience and purpose, can lead to profound transformation and extraordinary impact.
That's well put. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, maybe the question this deep dive leaves us with is this. In a world where ancient oaths are broken, where power can corrupt even the most well-intentioned, what is the true ultimate cost of honor? And maybe more importantly, when does upholding it become not just a duty, but a defiant revolutionary act against a broken system? When is honor rebellion?
Ooh, that's a great question to ponder. A fantastic thought to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this fascinating exploration of the Way of Kings. We hope this deep dive has given you a shortcut to being truly well-informed about the incredible world of Roshar, its characters, and its profound themes.
It was a pleasure digging into it.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more updates as we continue our journey through these incredible stories.
Definitely. Thanks, everyone.